to go up a level of disrespectful. I'm just one chain away from going heavy metal.
Alright guys, so today might be my most controversial video yet. I just asked you to unsubscribe until I made my 100th joke about how dog shit Drake's latest album was. But now since we've gotten that out of the way, discographies. Now if for some reason you don't know what that word means, it signifies a descriptive catalog of musical recordings, particularly those of a specific performer or composer. And the reason why I bring it up is because I want to talk about who has the best discography in hip hop, especially with the new age of hip hop tapping into old roots now more than ever, with sample heavy production becoming a new wave and old heads making a return with podcasts and the occasional versus appearance. I feel like it's necessary to take a look back at both old and newer artists and see who has been the most consistent within the hip hop scene. Now, for all of my 19-year-olds out there, you probably think that Kanye is the artist with the best discography in hip-hop, which is debatable. I mean, he did give a nice repeat of projects for his debut, and then followed up with one of the best projects of the 2010s, and then followed that up with his most experimental, and in my opinion, best project in his entire discography. But I hate to break it to you, Lil Jacob, he should have never started reading the Bible, because I just don't think that's true. Anymore, at least. See, taking a look at other artists' discogs, some of them are definitely filled with highs and lows, such as Drake, with him being one of the most commercially successful rappers of all time, but still having the ability to drop dud after goddamn dud, but at the same time having the ability to drop a slew of bangers that still hit just as hard today. But does that mean having duds makes for a great discography? No, obviously not, you fucking idiot. I say this because mainly when looking at hip hop today, things seem to have hit a major halt in terms of quality of music, and with it seeming like major artists are just trying to make music to last for a month for streams, but nothing that really sticks for the long run. And it's not like I'm saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, everybody's got to get a bag, but at the same time, I feel it can take a major toll on one's discography when they can drop such a mid album to precede a much more well-worked and liked project or series of projects. Another example of this would be the sicko mode McDonald's man himself, Travis Scott. Now, when you think about his best project, it's usually noted that it's going to be Rodeo, seeming like such a refreshing sound from what was out at the time and completely changing the game into what it is today. But then take a second to think about what was his worst album. But yet, you don't even have to do that much thinking because it's obviously Birds on the Trap sing Weezer. And when looking at this project, it just seems like a shell of Rodeo, with a few hits such as Goosebump and Pick Up the Phone being the tracks that took it from my sophomore year of high school. It was messy, the track assortment was all over the place, and it just didn't have that level of rage factor that people were looking for to make it a great follow-up album. But after a very long and drawn out 2 years, he then dropped his long-awaited project Astroworld, being an exceptional follow-up to that Tupac Amid he thought was good enough for his fans. And this project definitely seemed to tap into the more liked aspects of Travis's music, while at the same time giving us something new that was cool. I mean, even the song Sicko Mode was cool for like a solid 15 minutes, until people started assuming that that was the only song he's ever made. And see, in situations like Travis's, he had the ability to come back right, and he did. Just like with Playboi Carti having the ability to grow and change his style to stay in tune with the times and not lose his appealing factors. Because let's be honest for a second, see, if Carti would have still kept making music like his self-titled project, or if Travis would have still tried to bounce off whatever the hell he was doing with Birds, they would have fell off a long time ago. Like, sorry kids, but no Sicko Mode, no Fortnite skins, and you're not getting that quarter pounder with bacon, medium fried fries, and a barbecue sauce. But then you have artists that have shown that no matter what, they will never gain that same footing that they once had within the industry in terms of musical creativity and longevity, such as Drake. See, in my opinion, the last good Drake album was probably Views, and we can make the debate for More Life, but that was so all over the place that I had Carmen Sandiego looking for it. And even then with Views, it's still debatable as a good Drake project, especially when it came out seeming like something totally different from what we got previously with If You're Reading This It's Too Late and What a Time to Be Alive. But you know that that's the two best works Drake has ever done or could have been a part of. But then you take a look at what came out after Views, with us receiving an assortment of such low-grade mediocrity. I mean, just miss after miss after fucking miss. It was like watching Shaquille O'Neal try to shoot a free throw. And then you have people that are just so desperate to defend this dog shit, because if it's one thing that Drake stands are good at, it's gargling a light-skinned nigga's ball sack. I mean, as much praise as Drake used to get, it's truly hard to really put him on top of the list of best discographies when he drops one messy album, a forgettable one, an okay mixtape, a shell of his former self, and an absolute joke that he calls trying something new, all right after each other. But then there's artists who've been either improving or have been consistently great with their music, such as Kendrick Lamar, who made an insane leap in quality from Overly Dedicated to getting a 10 out of 10 with To Pimp a Butterfly, to being the first ever rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize for Damn, to now coming full circle with his latest project Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, being something like a farewell to what once was, and now setting out for a new chapter in his musical career while still being able to dish out a banger project for the 5th time in a row. And when you really take a look at all the other discogs and compare them to what Kendrick was capable of doing, it truly is something that far exceeds the competition. But now let's get into the question of who has the best discography? Jay-Z, Wu-Tang, Kendrick, Eminem? Well, if I had to answer this question, I would probably say Outkast, and with a little reasoning, I think most of you guys can agree with me as well. See, around the time that the duo of Andre 3000 and Big Boy was coming up, Southern hip hop just wasn't as prevalent in the mainstream hip hop scene, with the West Coast and New York rappers taking over the entire music scene by storm. But once they really got their footing, they really did change the game for Southern rappers, with them bringing a whole new sound, flow, and overall appeal that hip hop fans just weren't used to at the time, bringing out hits such as Rosa Parks, Elevators, and one of their biggest hits, So Fresh So Clean, that people, such as my mother for example, enjoyed. And then for them to have one of the best 3 album runs in all of hip hop, and then to follow it up with being the first rappers to win Album of the Year at the Grammys, just goes to show that these guys were here to stay, and really solidified their legacies as one of the best hip hop groups to ever exist. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. If you made it through this video, you deserve a goddamn purple heart, because I know you guys are used to the 3 to 5 video format that I usually do, but with a topic like this, I feel to really need to break things down a bit more for the people who feel like I don't say enough. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content. Make sure to follow my IG and Twitter. And if you like the today's using this video, make sure to follow your artist as well, because she's dope. And on that note, I'll see you on Friday when I force Big Boy and Andre 2000 to make another album. Peace.